Hello there, my name is Marlene Kelter and I'm here with Alyssa, and we're going to be your co-presenters as we provide you some information with program and recreation directors. We want to take this opportunity to provide you with information about the roles and responsibility of program and recreation directors, as well as some tips on planning a project, and hopefully give you some ideas that you can utilize as well. I want to take just a few minutes, both of us do, to introduce ourselves so you know who's speaking to you today, and give you a little bit of idea of our background and what we do and have done in KAY and what we are doing currently. So as I said, my name is Marlene Kelter, and this is my 37th year on the KAY camp staff. I guess maybe 36 years in the first year as the virtual staff member. I was the secretary, vice president, and president of the Clifton Clyde KAY Club. And I currently am a physical therapist and manage the outpatient rehab department at Menorah Medical Center in the Kansas City area. And I have my fantastic co-presenter, Alyssa. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Holsworth. This is my 8th year on staff, 7 years at camp and first year virtual KLC. I was a secretary, a treasurer, president, and area president at Blue Valley Northwest High School. And I am currently a kindergarten teacher in the Blue Valley School District in Overland Park, Kansas, that I absolutely love. And I am super excited to get to present this with you and the lovely Marlene. And I know we're going to come up with some great ideas, and I know you guys are going to do amazing. So I think here we go.
Okay, first of all, if you all haven't seen the KAY handbook, I highly recommend you talk to your sponsor and find that handbook, because it is an excellent resource with lots of good information. And some of the information we're presenting to you today came right from that handbook. First of all, I'm just going to do a quick overview of the responsibilities. Some of you may not have a program director and a recreation director. It may just be one and the same, and that's okay. But if you have two separate ones, here's what they would be. Your program director, it's your responsibility to meet with the sponsor, the president, as well the director of music and special programs every 2 weeks. You're going to provide a written report on the programs for the next 2 meetings so they know what's going on. And make sure you're creating programs that are different, they're varied, they're interesting, because you want to get a variety of people involved and active in these programs. As far as your recreational director, you want to plan 2 after-school parties each semester, so that's 4 per year. You want to take charge of 1 party during the regular meeting each semester, and then you also want to help sponsor a social event each year and include parents and faculty members, so you have a lot of people that are getting involved. So why do we have programs? Tell us about that, Alyssa.
Sorry, let me unmute myself. So the reason why we have programs is it creates a sense of school spirit. It really helps you unify together. And think of our theme this year, especially Stronger Together. It is a perfect reason why we need to have great and wonderful programs that unite us and bring that school spirit and bring back the joy that I know sometimes right now with the pandemic might be making us feel a little bit anxious than normal. And one thing, guys, before I continue, is we have the outline for you. So feel free to follow along that outline. This presentation really does mirror that outline. So feel free to jot down notes or follow along there. Don't worry if you have to think you have to write down all this stuff. The next is this also allows for your club and your board to bond with one another and really get to know each other on a personal level. You know, the more that you get to know one another and work with each other, the better, honestly, your programs are going to be and your service projects, because you get to know each other on a personal level and a deeper level. It also provides educational learning opportunities, and it allows you to promote service, and it just generates enthusiasm that can carry over to other projects throughout your school year. It's just a very crucial thing to have to really bring in that KAY spirit. So how do we get started? So when we think about getting started, it all starts with that brainstorming and that process. And one of the most important ways you can do that is really get input from your club members. It's really important to get their input and feedback. And so we definitely suggest surveying them. And this provides them a couple of reasons. One, if you know what your club members are interested in, they are more likely to participate and also feel like their voice is heard. And when you're doing things that interest them, your attendance for those programs is going to be higher. Also, some really good ways that you can utilize surveys is you can utilize technology, Google Forms, and have a QR code available on your bulletin board. You could also just have a little feedback box by your sponsors room too if you're a little nervous with the whole virtual and technology side of things. Another good thing to think about is really think about your programs and the month you're in. Is there any holiday? Is there any special activities that would occur during that month? So like August, really think of those back to school programs. How are you going to draw members in, generate your membership? If it's October, what could you do that's fall related? You know, there's painting pumpkins, or you could do something fun with your board or your club and go to the pumpkin patch. You could tie it in with a service project and do pumpkins with elementary kiddos. February, you could also bring in speakers. So you could bring in someone from the American Heart Association, since it's all about hearts in February, in February. And just again, people support what they help create. And so the more likely members are to participate and attend if they are given the input and know that their voices are being heard and that they matter, which is super important.
So as Alyssa said, you want to kind of survey your members and get a good idea of what they want to do. So work with your board members after you've done the survey in the early planning stages. And remember, it's not my event. It's not exactly what you want to do and not just the board. It's what your club wants to do, because the more people you have interested, the more people are going to be willing to step up and participate. Some things to consider when you're planning: always have a backup plan. Sometimes the weather interferes and you can't do what you want to do. Sometimes we have a pandemic. Hopefully we never see that again, but school closures have happened this year, obviously, and so we had to come up with a backup plan. You also want to consider events that work for a variety of people. Not everybody likes the same things, so you want to try and provide programs that appeal to multiple different people. As you're planning these events, make sure you're working with your sponsor and your school principal to find a time as well as the location to hold this event if it's not your typical club meeting time. Have the meeting set and the programs so that they're different lengths, because sometimes you can't do a full-blown program. You don't have time to do something for an hour or 2 hours. So how can you condense that and do something that's meaningful in 15 minutes? So just think about varying time lengths, and it keeps everybody interested as well. You might change the days and times when you hold these events. You might find morning's a really good time, or that's not really working. So do we have time after school we can do that? You've got to find the time when you can get the most people involved and be able to attend throughout the year. As you're planning, make sure you have a timeline for the project and then assign committees. That's a great way to get members involved. When you're scheduling that and you're setting up meetings and committees, make sure you set up any follow-up meetings to get information and check in with those committees. You can't just assign a committee and then not check in on them, because you want those committees to be working together. So if there's a, for example, a committee that is doing refreshments, okay, they need to know where the event is. And so they need to be working with that committee so that they have all of the resources they need, whether it be a table, whether it be water, whatever the case. But you have to make sure those committees are talking and that you're following up to make sure everything gets done. Reach out to your club members. Like Alyssa said, people support what they help create. Early on in the year, one of the things you can do is survey your membership to find out, what do people like to do? Do they like to decorate? Are they into party planning? Do they just want to be the setup committee? Do they want to be the cleanup committee? Find what they want to do, utilize that survey, and then when you're ready to get volunteers, you're going to have a way to try to get those volunteers. When you're planning these activities, also, don't just think in terms of club events. You also want to plan some stuff that your board can do so that you can have kind of a board bonding moment. So that's really important as well. Now, once you get to the day of the event and everything's planned, there's several things you want to take into consideration. First of all, it's important for yourself or another representative, if you can't make it, to get there early. You want to get there early and make sure you get everything set up. We had a staff member that once said, if you're not early, you're late. Okay, so you want to be there ahead of time to make sure everything is set up and ready to roll so you don't have any glitches. Or if there are glitches, you have time to work them out. Make sure everything is set up in the venue. You want to make sure the chairs are out. If you're using technology, sometimes technology fails us, or we fail technology. And so we want to make sure that everything is set up, everything is working properly. You do sound checks, you do video checks, so we can make sure everything is working and goes off as planned. You want to assign board and club members things to do during the event. It's not just about you. It's not just about your club members or board members doing that. It's everybody getting involved and taking a role. One of the things to consider is make sure you have a greeter, okay? So you want to have someone that's there welcoming the member or the speaker, because if you have an outside speaker, they may not know where this is going to be. So if you're waiting for them at the curb or waiting for them at the entrance, you can escort them to where they need to be. Make sure someone is assigned to take attendance so that you know what kind of participation you had from your club members. You always have to have a cleanup crew. Not always the most fun for some people, but you want to make sure that the venue is left as good or better than the way you found it. Have a photographer there. It's really easy to make sure that you're able to photograph either with still pictures or with video the events, so that way you can document it on social media, and you can even archive it so you have it for future reference. Okay. After the event, as I said earlier, make sure all the items for the event are returned in working condition. Make sure you evaluate the program. Was it a good program? What went well? Was this maybe a great program, but some things didn't go quite as planned? So how can we do better next time? That's going to help us for our next event, either later in the year or the following year. And then also survey the members. Did they enjoy the program? Is that something they want to do again? What do they suggest? So get feedback and evaluate so we know that we're doing programs that are worthwhile. You want to provide a record of the event for the next board member. So if this was a great success and you're going to do this program again, if you are able to document that planning process and provide that to board members, it's going to be easier for people to pull that off in the future and enhance it and make it even better. And if you have that evaluation we talked about and you have feedback, make sure and attach that to the program notes. So that way they can see, oh, they really like this aspect or they didn't like that aspect. It's a great way to check in and make sure you're doing the right things. And last but not least, at the end of the program, make sure you're recognizing everybody that was involved and helped with the programs. You want to send thank you notes to speakers, to the venue, to everybody involved, for your principal, if they helped you find the space, whoever that is, make sure you're recognizing them. And maybe even at the next club meeting, you just take a minute to thank everybody that was involved and just give that public recognition. It really does go a long way with people.
So one of the most important things to remember and consider when we are creating our programs and trying to figure out which ones we wanted our K clubs to do, it's really crucial to align them. And so one of the ways you can do that is promoting your club's purpose and your goals in some of these types of activities. You could consider the KAY objectives when you're planning your year. So I put a snippet of one of the handbook pages and the sections below it. So section 6.1 in the KAY handbook. This has all of our KAY objectives on it. And so what you can do is you can kind of look at some of this stuff, and this gives you some ideas. So you can think of what are some things I can do as service for a program? Could I come work with the service director, and could I combine, and could this program, we do something as an active service for either our school or making cards? You could tie in service and appreciation by doing something for maybe the school janitors for thanking for cleaning up, especially with all the COVID stuff. You could look at recreation and figure out, okay, can we do a fun activity all together? Is there a tournament we can do? Is there a break we could take in the middle of our program or our meeting and do something recreational and fun? Is there something I could do with character? Could I have someone present and come speak on a certain topic that builds character or builds something that would help us grow as human beings or people? Anything like that really can align with the programs will just align your club even further and really promote the overall goal and purpose of KAY and your programs. Also, it does increases student engagement when you make worthwhile programs. When people see that they're meaningful and that you took the time to create something and align it with something that matters to your club, it's going to increase engagement and make them see that you took the time to make these programs really something special that they should pay attention to. Another really great, another great thing to do is also consider like our privileges when you're planning the year. And I put this section into, this is from section 1.3. And this is a really great way, to think creatively, to seek the truth. Is there something you can do to enjoy fun and laughter at your meetings? And tell that to your members. I kind of think of it like when I'm teaching kindergarten, if my lesson for the day is shapes, I'm going to tell the kids what we're going to learn today. I'm going to tell them what we're going to do. So do that with your members. Tell them today, we're going to focus on this KAY privilege to enjoy fun and laughter. And I have a great program set up for you to really showcase that and let us have some fun and enjoy our time with one another. Definitely set that up, because when you can set the stage for them where they know what they're going to do right away, they can see that you put that time into it, they're going to pay more attention, and they're going to know when they leave what their goal was. What were they supposed to learn from that meeting? What is their takeaway? And so really think about that too, is using those privileges, to appreciate and respect all races. Could you plan a diversity education assembly? Could you bring in a host or a speaker to discuss other cultures or customs? Is there something you could do to promote living a healthy lifestyle? Again, you could bring in a speaker, or you could do a recreational activity as a club. There's a lot of different things you can do and be creative with it. Another great thing is utilize the colors too. Like utilize them and combine them. Like I said with the one, like doing an act of appreciation and service, you could combine the two. You could combine health and recreation and like do something with white and green. And you can tell your members that to be like, I don't know if you know this, but the color white in KAY represents health. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on health, and we're going to focus on the color white, and then explain that to them and have some activities and programs aligned with that. You can also utilize the slogan, laugh, love, lift, or our motto, today for tomorrow. You can add those in to any type of your programs. I just think it's very crucial that you tell your members why. Tell them the purpose. Really bring it back and bring it home to why this is important, why they should care, and what they're going to be doing, and what is their takeaway that they should learn from this.
I think those are some great ideas, Alyssa, and I love how you combine the colors and use the objectives, because that's what we're all about, and it's nice to be able to tie that back in, and so members can see what those really are. So that was great use of those. One of the things that you want to consider when you're planning your programs is you want to do some fun stuff too. You want to generate excitement in these programs. So some things to think about are some short energizers to engage members while they wait. And I know you're going to see some energizers as you do some of the live KLC sessions this year, as we do some of our virtual stuff. And we're also going to try and show you some videos here coming up with some ideas. But some things, let's say you're waiting, that you have some technology issues. What can you do? Let's do a roller coaster activity. Okay, that's always fun. A rock, paper, scissors tournament. Maybe some fun camp songs, learning the clap song. And I think we have a clip later that will show you of that. The other thing you can do is think about creating some fun videos to promote club membership, of why they might want to join. If you have these fun videos and you can throw them on social media, they can see what fun you guys are having, and that helps develop interest in your program. So show them why they should join KAY. Other things, when you're doing programs, think about team buildings. Those are great ways to practice your communication skills. Some of those things would include spaghetti or balloon towers, and I know Alyssa's going to talk about that a little bit later, doing a human knot, and even we're going to discuss an Instagram scavenger hunt around school that one of the programs is utilized. And so I think that would be a fun activity for you guys to do. So you've been listening to us to talk quite a while and seen a lot of stuff. So let's have Alyssa show you a couple of videos. One of them is from camp, the dance night, when everybody was having fun with that, and then just another activity and fun video that you guys can see.
Thanks, Marlene. So yeah, as Marlene was saying, definitely create those fun programs. So the first video you're going to see is a club working together to promote coming to camp and really promoting that. And so you could do this too, where it's just something fun. You could rewrite the words to songs. If you just wanted to dance and have fun with that, and then at the end say, join KAY, that's fine too. But just show them what fun that they're having and what they're missing by not being in your club. Oh, hold on. There we go. And then this next one, as Marlene said, is from camp. And so it's just doing a fun dance break together.
I think that's your KAY state director down there in the corner, isn't it, on that yellow, that big Yes I Can shirt. She's just dancing and showing you all how it's done.
And I loved in this video also that they also said what we do. You know, K clubs, we serve. So that's another great thing, is to maybe tell people what we do, because sometimes people don't understand what KAY is or understand the acronym. So definitely tell them what we are all about and why they should join us. So some membership programming ideas. So there are a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys today. So one of the first ones is this Instagram scavenger hunt. And so what one club did was to welcome back to school and get their membership drive kind of going with the idea, is they did an Instagram scavenger hunt at their very first club meeting. And so prior to the meeting, they obviously planned, and they made a list of all different things that people should take pictures of in the school building. You know, we want to keep it safe. We don't want people being too silly. We don't want people going out into the city or anything like that. So they kept it all around school. You could keep it aligned with find the KAY board, or find our sponsors room, or find our mascot, or find a thing that has 3 of our school colors or whatnot, so that you make a list. And then when you get your members, you know, it's always important for someone to take attendance. Then while the rest of your program is going on, someone is there kind of organizing them into little groups. You know, you want to make sure you have a variation of your board members and your club members. So you have a board member who kind of knows what's going on with the activity, and the club members that are going to follow that board member. And then together, you guys are going to utilize your cell phones, and you go around the building and you take pictures of whatever's on the list. So if it's going to your sponsors room, take a picture outside your sponsors room. And then what you're going to do is at the end, you're going to post it all on Instagram, and then you're going to use a hashtag. You know, you want to make sure you have a hashtag like KAY membership or KAY scavenger hunt or whatever your school's name is. That way, then you can find all these pictures, and now you have pictures to send to our state director to show her an awesome thing that you did for membership. You now have things to showcase social media to get more people be like, oh my gosh, look at all the cool things this club did at their first meeting. I should join. That looks like a lot of fun. And so that could be one thing, is just really getting to do something fun and unique. I had never heard of that idea before, and I thought it was really a really unique one. The next one is a BYOB membership drive for your first meeting. Now, this one is silly. It's bring your own banana. And so they did an ice cream. They did an ice cream at their first meeting bar. And so people would bring their own banana, and then members paid their dues. And then they got to spend time socializing with one another, having a little banana party with ice cream sundaes. So that's another really great way. I always know if there's food at a membership program or meeting, I'm usually there. And I know that's the same for you guys too. If I know I'm going to get a yummy snack or a treat, sign me up. So,
Okay.
Marlene, I was going to let you talk about Mayday K-Day, because I know that you love this program, and I had never heard of it till being in KAY. And so this is a really cool idea. So make sure you're paying attention to this one.
Absolutely. And I love that idea around the school. So great ideas for social media. And many of you may have recognized this Mayday K-Day programming idea. We did this on social media this year. Things were a little bit different this year, as you all know, and so we had to find other ways to do things. So I know the clubs were challenged to participate in this. So for those of you that are not familiar with what May Day is, it occurs on the first day of spring, May 1st, or around the first day of spring, but it's always on May 1st, and it's a traditional time when you take small little baskets and you put them on people's porches and you give them to people, and they're just small little things in them. They could be flowers. You can see that bottom left. You can see there's some candy in it. You can obviously see all the flowers on the right, and it's just an opportunity to just celebrate spring. I know my neighbor across the street, who's a former camp staff member, the doorbell rang on the first day of May, and her little kids had taken a paper plate. They folded it over in half, and they decorated it all with their crayons, and they put a bunch of candy in, and they rang the doorbell and dropped it off. And it was just lots of fun. And there's lots of different possibilities. This was a great opportunity with social distancing because you didn't have to directly interact with people. You just kind of ring the doorbell and put it on their porch. Other possibilities is colorful sidewalk chalk to brighten someone's day. All kinds of possibilities. And if you look on our next slide, we're going to see this is what was posted, that on the left, the Mayday K-Day Service Challenge. So that's what we had out there. And you can read all about it. It's also on the Facebook page. But, you know, delivering May baskets to spread cheer. One of it talked about providing bird feeders. So maybe you have bird feeders outside the windows of the local assisted living or the nursing home. Then they were kind of stuck inside, and so they were able to look out the windows and see the birds on the bird feeders. So it's a nice opportunity for them. Maybe you help plant a neighbor's garden. All kinds of fun things you can do, and you can read that on there, and I believe it's on our handout as well. And also, once again, go to the KAY Facebook page. And I'm going to have Alyssa hit this video here. And this was a young man with one of the clubs, and he's doing a little drop off here.
Yes, so I'm going to play the video, but I also wanted to really just add something. So I love here in this program, when they sent this out, they made sure to include a hashtag, especially if we're going to go ever with COVID-19 or virtual again. Really make sure you have a hashtag lined out and you let members know what that is for any of your programs. That way, when they do it, they have somewhere to send it where it's all going to come through the same. They could private message you them, but if you have that hashtag the same when you click on it, then it's going to bring up all those images, and you can see at once everyone who's done it, and your members now can go look at that and see what everyone else has done too.
Thanks for reminding us about that. Good job, Alyssa.
Oh, hold on. I'm jumping way ahead. There we go.
So here he goes. He's off and running. We got a mad dash.
I love that he's holding his hat too while he runs.
I know.
So awesome.
So now they ring the doorbell and they're off and running again. We did this a lot as kids, and it's kind of fun to see it come back again, especially I think it had gone away in a lot of places, like Alyssa had not heard of it, or maybe we saw it more in rural areas, but it's kind of a fun tradition in today's world that we can do again.
Yeah, and it's just a fun way to do a simple act of kindness and brighten someone's day.
Some other ideas would include some Earth Day programming. So these gals were out picking up trash along their school in various areas. Now, I will say some have gone out on the highways or the roads around their community. If you do that and you're off the school grounds, just make sure you work with the local safety officials so that you have some kind of block or some sort of notice that you're there, because we want to make sure it's safe first and foremost. But this is a great opportunity to help out with Earth Day and cleaning up the area around you.
So some awesome programming ideas for food donation. So I love some of these ones. So the first one is a construction. And so there's a couple different ways you could do that. One is definitely first, for this first one, work with your principals, talk to your principals and your sponsors first, because you definitely need building approval for this one. But what they did is they actually worked with their principals and teachers to see if they could do a contest to block the teachers' doors with cans. And so then what they would do is if the doors were completely blocked, that meant that there was no class in that room for the day. And instead, students still reported to the class, obviously for attendance, but then they got to go somewhere else that was a designated area already picked out that had activities and games for them to do for that hour. It was just an alternate activity for the day or for that class period. And so that's a really fun way to really think about, if you're doing just a traditional can drive, to get more people involved. I don't know about you, but if I knew that I could get out of class for 45 minutes and do something I wanted to do that was fun, I would totally bring cans. I would go buy like 10 or 20 and bring them. And so that's a great way to increase your program outcomes too, to really make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck when you're doing these programs. Think of something that's going to be engaging and get the students and get your members involved. And this is a great way to do that. And so that's blocking the cans and doing that. Now, if your administration says, no, we don't want to do that, don't worry. You can still think of other great ways to really take on and do a food donation. One of the ways I've always seen is doing a can art project. And so what they did is they, as a group or as a time, they did a contest and they had to build and make the cans and the food into something. And so this is a picture of what they did with, it looks like some cans and some great value soups or the stocks, and they made like an R2-D2. And they literally just used cans, like this chicken stocks that they got that people donated. Looks like there's some tuna cans, some soup cans, and then they just took paper. They just took like some blue paper, some red paper, or red tissue paper, and they made it look like R2-D2. How fun would that be at a meeting? Is if that's one of your programming at the end, is everyone all together, they get like 30 or 40 minutes to build this, make this giant can art that you can display in your school before you donate it. That would be super fun. I've seen ones at like the grocery store with Patrick Mahomes when the Chiefs were really big with red cans. So that's a great way to get creative and have some fun with some food drives. And another, also think about collecting cans at your football games. You could call it like tackling hunger, or we're going to tackle hunger. And you could do that too. That would also be a really cool thing to partner up. If you have a rival high school and they have a K club and you have a K club, at that game, come work together and do a tackling for hunger and do a competition between the two. I know if I was up against a rival team, a rival school, I would definitely want to be the one and showcase that my school was the best. So I would add and bring a lot of stuff to that too. So I think Marlene's now going to give you some great ideas for some ways to get involved with your senior citizens and make them feel just as involved as you do your regular members too.
We've really tried hard to give you kind of a variety of options that you can do. So stuff in your school and stuff out in your community. So in terms of some ideas for some senior citizens, and I think some of these pictures, I think this might be some Scandia Pike Valley people. I don't remember for sure. But one of the things they did was a Spring to Life party. And they had, as you can see, they had a fun photo booth. You had club members, and some of them were in the drama team or the drama club, and they came in and give a short little performance. Playing card games with them, having a paint party, or have some sort of craft project you can work on with them. Great ideas that you can involve the seniors and you can do stuff together. One of the things you could do is go to your local nursing home or assisted living, and they all have activities director, and ask for the activities director. And what you can do is ask them for ideas. What would they like to see? What would some of their residents enjoy doing? And I think that would be helpful. In today's COVID environment, some clubs have organized many of the drive-through parades, so they drive by. Other things you could do is paint their windows or decorate their windows, after you got permission, of course. As I said earlier, you could put bird feeders outside the windows so they can enjoy the birds. Or maybe you have a hanging basket or some flowers outside the window. It just gives them other things to see and enjoy. Same thing if your town has a senior citizen center. Some small communities have senior citizen center. So what you can do is go and talk to some of the officials there. And how can you help? Do they want the drama club to come? Do they want you to come and assist with something? they a lot of times have ideas. They just need people to help them out and do stuff with them. So that's an opportunity for you as well. So this is right up your alley. So we went from senior citizens, and now let's talk to our elementary teacher about some elementary programming ideas.
Yes, this is definitely right up my alley, and a few of these are from my own kindergarten classroom. But one of the things I also love with giving all of these program ideas is really combining that element of having great quality programs, but also aligning with our values with service. You know, think about it. We don't get a lot of time to be together as a club and do, so the more that you can really put a lot together for one program, align with your service directors, align with your recreation directors or your programming, and work together. And so that's just a really great thing too. So some awesome ideas with elementary is this first picture here is you could do a storybook yoga, you know, contact your local elementary, ask if you can come in and read a story, and you can read a story with them and create actions like gingerbread man. That's always super fun, you know, running each time the gingerbread man runs, or hiding from the fox or whatnot. So definitely that's really fun. Just reading stories with them or making actions out of them. They love that sort of thing. Also, you can work with them and go and make cards with them or show them how to make bookmarks for their reading, anything like that. And then, you know, you could also, this group right here, this club, I believe this is Blue Valley Northwest High School where I was, newer members, of course, but they did a Santa's workshop where basically they purchased small gifts throughout the year, and then they worked with the elementary counselor or the principal, and then they actually gave those to elementary students that maybe weren't going to have as much for Christmas coming in or needed something. So that's just a great way that you could get involved and provide different opportunities. You could also take them on a nature walk. You could also align again with stories, because elementary and literature are perfect. So anything you can do with the story is awesome. You could do building. So like you could do the 3 little pigs and bring some blocks, and you could read the story and then build one of the houses and try to knock it down. Those are just some great things you could do, or take them on a nature walk, anything like that. The last little video here I have to show you is, this is my kindergarten class. And so we took what we always say at camp. Cheryl always goes, I feel good. And then all the campers respond back. And it's just a really great motivator that makes you, when you walk away, you feel good, you're ready, you're set up to do what you're supposed to for the rest of the day. And so this is actually something I taught my kindergartners, and we say it before we start every single school day. We say this little chant to get us started for the day. So you could teach this to elementary kids, or you could teach it to your members and say it before you leave a meeting or before you start a meeting, just to pump people up and make people feel good. And this just has a little cuteness factor to it. So let me go back.
I feel good, real good, real good. I'm standing up straight, feeling great, feeling great. My blood is turned, and I'm ready for some learning. I'm gonna do my best today. And have a super fantastic day. You're fine. A super fantastic day.
So I think Marlene's now also going to tell some great programming ideas you can do to celebrate the success of an end of an awesome school year.
Absolutely. There's lots of opportunities to celebrate. And you guys probably have some form of celebration. You can see up here in the top left, they made a banner and they put everybody's name on it for the seniors. So they're congratulating them all. That was even pre-COVID. So banners have been around forever. So great ideas there. The next one down below that, they had a more formal program. And so this, I believe, was an opportunity for your outgoing president and your ingoing president. So it's just a more formal ceremony that they did. You can see the KAY banner in the background. And then it's also springtime. So, you know, it's right around Cinco de Mayo. So talk about a cause for a celebration. Who doesn't love a little Mexican fiesta? And so it's a great opportunity to get together, maybe have a taco bar or something like that. So once again, you can have fun, crazy celebrations, or you can have something that's a little bit more serious and a little bit more formal as well.
So some awesome ideas is to really get your members up and really get them to feel part of a team. And so team builders are an awesome way to do that. And so a couple of examples we have here is, this is a couple of KAY campers. They are doing a balloon tower. And so what they did was, it's just balloon tape And that's all they get, is they get balloon and tape. And then you give them a time limit and you break them up into teams. And then you see who can build the tallest balloon tower. And they have to blow up the balloons themselves and tape them and see what structure they can build to be the tallest. So that's super fun. You can do that with spaghetti too. That's another great way to. The next is the human knot. And that's just a great way, you know, now this is pre-COVID, so you might have to get creative and wait a little bit till we can be touching our friends and all that stuff. But this is a great way just to, you know, really talk and communicate with one another. So you like put in your opposite hands and reach, and then you all are knotted up and you have to work together without letting your hands go and undo it. So that's a really fun activity too. The last one is you take a tarp, or you could take even a large blanket on the ground, put it on the ground, and then everyone steps on it. And then they have to, without getting off the blanket, flip it on the other side. And so that's just a really great communication builder too, and just get people up and moving and talking with one another. A good thing with any of these team builders is after you do it, make sure you have a little bit of a discussion of what was easy about it, what was hard about it. That way you guys can together figure out ways of why it was important. Again, what was that takeaway? What was the purpose why we do it? At everything we do at camp, everything we do at KAY, we do for a reason. So make sure you're telling that purpose to them and really giving them an opportunity to figure out what worked, what was hard about it, and that sort of thing. So next, what we have here is, these are just some fun Energizer programs that the KLC staff has done in the past. And so the first one, I believe, is a ball throwing activity with names, which is a great way when you're learning names at the very beginning of the year of all your members. Oh, hold on.
And I think you had to get more and more balls involved, so it took a lot of communication.
So yeah, that's just a great way to learn names. But yeah, Marlene's right. It gets harder because you start going faster and more balls get involved. So you really have to listen and be paying attention. So that's a really great one. And then the other one is teaching the KAY clap song, which is a super fun and activity you guys can do together as your club is teach it. And that's one you could do almost at every meeting, and hopefully each time you get better and better, because it is tricky at the beginning and it does get a little faster towards the end of it. So that's a definite way too, is you can add that into each meeting, and hopefully by the end of the year you're pros at it. So now I believe we are going to start talking about recreation and some of those ideas that you can do with that. And so again, you want to ensure that you have variety, that you're appealing to all your members and all individuals. So that's why that survey at the beginning of the year is super, super crucial and important. Next, just make sure you're practicing the activities beforehand to make sure that they're safe. You know, you want to make sure that everything works, and you don't want to make sure that any of your members get hurt. So definitely practice them beforehand to make sure that they're safe for everyone. Also consider activities for members in your community as well. And we gave you some great examples with some senior citizens and children. And so you could definitely do something like that too. So what we have here is, these are just some ways that you can add a little quick break to your meetings. If you're knowing that they're getting a little long, just some quick things that you can get people up and moving. So the first one here is just having a dance party. You're meeting, getting everyone up and moving their bodies and awaken themselves back up. I love it. And then the next one that you can do is, you could do a crab walk challenge or race to see how far you can go. So, it looks like Marlene, I think that was you. I think you won.
I think I did. I got lucky on that one.
There you go. So those are just some great quick, as you saw, that was like a 10-second like race, but it got everyone up. And when you get up and you get your blood pumping again, then people are going to be more alert probably for the rest of your meeting too.
And that first one, the dance party, that was just simply a KN board meeting, and everybody was getting a little bit tired and somebody popped on some music. It's like, okay, we took an official break and off we went. It just got everybody up and moving and kind of woke everybody up a little bit. And then everybody was energized and ready to roll. So recreational ideas, I think sometimes are easier for you all to come up with. So we've just kind of listed some here. Lots of activities you can do to promote club bonding, as well as board bonding. You can have various tournaments from kickball, basketball, baseball, frisbee golf. Those are all opportunities you can do. Cornhole, you could have a cornhole tournament, a bike-a-thon, some sort of water balloon battle. You can see quite a battle going on there. Have teams. You know, if you are doing things that are activities like competitions, think about pairing up your seniors and your freshmen. So that way they get to know each other. The freshmen can be a little bit more comfortable, but always, or your 8th graders and your 6th graders, try and pair those different age groups together so they can get to know each other and they can work together on a team. And it really helps promote some bonding activities. But there's lots of different fun activities like that you can do. Other things are movie nights. Right now, it'd probably have to be an outdoor movie, but you can be creative. You can have an outdoor movie at your school. Right now, we don't really go to an indoor gym, but when those do open up, that's an opportunity. You can have board game nights. You know, get an idea of what board games people like to play. Have a bunch of different board games out. There's all kinds of fun activities you can do, and you can have them set up at various places around the gym. So great opportunities there. One of the challenges, I think, for Alyssa and I in presenting this was the lack of interaction like we would have at camp. And so Alyssa has come up with a fantastic idea that we really hope you will utilize. And I'm going to let her explain it a little bit more. It's an opportunity for you to go on and put some information and share information and go back to it throughout the time that these links are open, so you can gain information. Or if you see something you like, you can, you know, put a comment on there so someone can send you more information. So Alyssa, if you could do a little wrap up on that and talk about that, that would be fantastic.
Yes. And one thing also with like the movie nights or the board game, you can utilize virtual stuff like Zoom too. Yeah. And, you know, like how we're screen sharing the screen now with one another, you could maybe watch like a funny YouTube video together, get together and watch your favorite YouTube videos, or I've seen people to figure out how to do virtual game nights too. So get creative with that. But like Marlene was saying, so this is an awesome way for participation. So what it is it's a Padlet. And so what we want you to do is there's a link right here. It's in big and it's a bit.ly link. So it's a shortened URL. So you're going to type this in when you're done. So what I want you to do is I want you to write this down, and you're going to write it down on a piece of paper, a Post-it note, whatnot. But you're going to write this down, and it's bit.ly. So it's bit.ly/ and then it's just KAY 2020. KAY does need to be all capital letters. But then when you do that, it's going to take you to this page here. And we want you guys to share your ideas and things that you love. Like what's your favorite program you do, or what gets you a lot of members or a lot of attendance. And what you're gonna do is you can click anywhere on the blue and it'll open up a little Post-it. There's also a little like plus in the bottom corner that you can also do that. And you can type in it, and you can, like this one is painting pumpkins. This one was like, someone said KAY state director. And then they said what they did. And you can actually insert a picture if you want. You can also find a picture on Google to get that idea across. You also don't have to put a picture, but then it allows you and members to go back to this, and it's going to generate a whole list of ideas. So every person that comments on this, it's going to keep adding more and more to it. And so then if you forget later on, you can be like, okay, what was that link I need to go to? Type it in and you'll see a bunch of ideas, and you can comment with one another and get more information. So it's a great way to provide that camp connection. I know especially this year, Camp Connection is a little bit harder, and getting to get other ideas from other clubs and other members. So this is a great way to reach out and work with one another and generate even more ideas possible. So we definitely encourage you to utilize this link and utilize this opportunity to connect with one another, because I know that there's not going to be a lot of opportunities to do that. So
yeah, this is such a fun idea, and we really, really hope you'll utilize it. One of the things we didn't talk about in there, but we do have on the Padlet is invite Cheryl, invite your state KAY director to come to your meeting. She can't make all of them, but she sure does her best to try and make it to some of them. And that's a great opportunity to get your club excited and ready to roll. But we really hope you'll utilize this link and be able to share resources. It's a good opportunity to get other ideas from you, since we aren't able to do a direct interactive session.
So I think that's all the ideas that we have for you guys today. We hope that you took away a lot of wonderful information and ideas of programs and different ways that you can get your members involved and really align the programs and utilize your time by combining service and programs with one another. And we hope that you'll utilize this bit.ly to definitely give more information to other club members and find a way to reach out and work with one another, because multiple brains work so much better than one. And so you find ideas that you never knew. Like, I never knew about the Instagram scavenger hunt, and I wish I knew about that when I was a member. So there's definitely awesome ways to do that. So thank you guys so much for watching this. And Marlene, do you have anything else?
Yeah, don't forget to use hashtags and links on your social media, so you can share that on social media and other clubs can see the great ideas you're doing, and gives them ideas and you get ideas from them as well. So thank you all. We've enjoyed presenting this to you, and we hope you've given you some tips to have a great year. Go out there, and we're excited to see what you post on social media.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.